Hello, hello, hello. I'm starting to get my routine back in order, which is nice. Um, I also have no idea where the cat is, which is scary. Yeah. But yeah, I'm also gonna be starting up my recording stuffs of Hard Space Shipbreaker soon, so that'll be moving along. I was looking at how long to beat was saying something like 20 hours plus to beat, and I don't really remember it being that long game, but I also that was at the point, or when I played it was at the point where I was already doing like 5 hour streams every time I streamed. So that might be part of it. But yeah, once we're done with that one, it's really just a matter of figuring out what else I want to do. Otherwise, I'm just going to be working on projects to do like other side things after that. And then, working on drawing, working on guitar, working on uh those kinds of things. Yeah. So yeah. Um Not a whole lot else going on. I'm gonna be playing Mega Man Battle Network. Starting with the first one. I've got the Legacy Collection, so I'm gonna be starting with the first one, moving on to two, and then playing one of the versions of three. I probably won't play both versions because, as far as I can tell, there's no difference in story. So we'll just leave it at that. But yeah. Um, and then we'll move on to whatever it is that I have on the roster after. I have some time to figure it out because it is three different games, and as far as I know, they are reasonably length each of them. So yeah. I think I'm just gonna keep this one a little short because I am a little bit behind on my intended start time, and that's just because I was goofing around and being lazy and browsing on the internet for ideas for things. Excuse me. I am apparently very tired as well. But yeah, we'll we'll be having a bit of an interesting schedule next week because I am working next Saturday. And then I am off the Monday because of the holiday. And then I'm going to be off that Friday because of the fact that I worked the Saturday and that the holiday is a paid holiday. So, like, I have to take another day off somewhere in the week. Um, so I'm going to have a 3 day work week with following a 6 day work week, which is weird. And one of the ends of that week will be a 3 day weekend. So I'm gonna be able to get some stuff done as far as like all of my recording and all of that. I probably will be able to finish Hard Space, honestly, because Mondays I don't do anything except run um Pathfinder. So we'll be getting through that day, probably doing a bunch of recording. Uh so yeah. And then we'll see how things go from there. I was thinking about doing Death Stranding as a recorded thing, but I might actually be using it instead to fill time on days where I'm going to be working the next day because I'm finding that like Soulsborne games just aren't working on days like that. So like Thursdays and then Fridays if I have to work the Saturday, which will only be like once a month for the rest of the year as far as I can tell. So there is that. But yeah, it should be oh, it should be pretty pretty easy to get through everything. I am getting so close to being done with having every record everything at this point. And I'm really looking forward to that being the case because while it is nice to be revisiting some of these games were also ones that I was like very, very happy to be done with and just like, oh cool, I'm never gonna play that one again. And now it's back. So yeah. Anyway, be excellent to each other, be excellent to yourselves, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.